I posted on my my Instagram that I'm going to be using. You guys can't see it, but off the corner I've got a trim bowl, and in particular this is ACI's. There it is. Nope, there it is. And in particular, this is ACI's, but I want to talk trim bowls or like trim bags or trim devices in general, man. Do you guys use them? You guys?
Dude, I've been using that trim bowl like it's my lifesaver, and no small buds through there because they go right through the bottom. But wow, dude, I've been talking trash about trim bowls since I started growing. Literally, since I can
Pretty
tell.
much me too.
Oh, they just mushed it in there, but
Me too.
they did a good job. They took what's already been there. They didn't reinvent the wheel, just like with their auto watering system, and taking that original piece and that basic physics of the movement and adding a few features to make it so it's not ruining the flower is really nice, man. I'm a big proponent of it.
I haven't had the chance to try it out, but I've been wanting to. But didn't P, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but didn't you get some backlash for using one of those? Wasn't there a lot of people like or is that a sour subject of using?
Yeah, we don't talk about the hate.
Stuff.
No, I don't talk about the hate over here. No, it's all sunshine and rainbows. Everybody loves me. If you didn't know that.
No, but the bowl trimmer in general is
you're right.
Backlash.
There is, yeah. When I made a post on, well, both. I did a short on Twitch. That's a short on YouTube, and then I did a post on Instagram. And yeah, quite a bit of backlash on both. Just in terms of it's either actually it's one. There's three options: those that have never tried it, those that love it, tried it and love it, and those that absolutely hate it. That's kind of where it is. There's no one in between. It's like I got one, but I prefer hand trimming still. Never heard that one, But it's like it's either you hate it, love it, or you haven't tried it. And so this is why I got into making video content for. It's like I will figure it out myself and I will share my opinion. I'm not going to hide anything back. As I'm sure you guys all remember, I did a review on the Trim Daddy. That was the electric trimmers that I attempted to chop fingers off on that one because I thought it was dangerous as fuck. And I didn't think that their glove did anything, and sure enough, it didn't. But the thing is that I gave an honest review. I thought, yeah, this thing is great for harvests. It really sped up my harvest. It was ergonomical, worked fine, did the job that it was expected to do. It's way too expensive. I think it's like $400,
dude. Like
$800. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's way too much money when you can buy an electric trimmer for a fraction of the price. That's not designed for herb. You know what I mean? That's a problem with our industry for a whole other conversation. But I gave an honest review of it. It worked. Is it worth it? No, when you can find other ones that do the exact same thing for far less. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to give my honest opinion, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I will tell you that. It doesn't matter the name of the company. It's about the product, and it's about the consumer. My number one commitment is to the audience, is to people watching, because I don't care who the product is. Is like my people are my people, and I want to spread the word of all the great stuff. Because we, as a group, we've sifted through all the products and we've found the stuff that's not so good, and we found the stuff that is good. It's like, let's highlight and mention both sides, and then just weed through and find the good stuff. So that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to figure it out. I've got Grove bags, and I've got, that doesn't make sense. I've got different ways to cure too, but I've got this, and I'll do a hand trim as well.
Well, yeah, with those. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I'm just wondering how much leaf material those bowl trimmers leave. And you're right, there are a bunch of companies that have those bowl trimmers. I think there's 17-inch was one, 19-inch ones. I don't know if they bigger ones, but there's a couple different sizes. I know that. Or maybe it's a 16-inch. Anyways, yeah, I wonder how much leaf material is left on there. And I guess one of the concerns people have is probably they think it's ripping off trichomes like pretty easily. So I got to imagine that that's the main complaint. But with the leaf material, now I know some people are okay with smoking the leaf material, right? One thing I learned quite recently is, the plant that we all know and love can uptake heavy metals, right? It's known to uptake heavy metals. Most of these heavy metals, they're in the stem and the leaves. So trimming those off that's one of the important things that people don't talk about, is trying to avoid consuming those heavy metals. So I just wonder, those bowl trimmers, are they leaving the leaf behind or not? So I don't know.
Well, like with this one, it's totally up to the user. So my first run with it, I way overdid it, and I had the wrong blade on. There's a dry blade and a wet blade, and I had the dry blade on the wet, and it was like mangling the stuff. I was like, oh. So then I switched it up and I ran through and I just way overdid it. I did like 6 spins, like, because I'm looking at one piece and that one piece wasn't getting perfectly done. As where sometimes you got to move it around in there. Small pieces fall right through. So anything yay big, like dime size or smaller, is going to go right through. Everything else, like you could really make it so it looks like a very light hippie trim to a full, commercial auto trim. You know what I'm saying? It's totally up to how many times you spin it. And
how much butt are you willing to sacrifice in the meantime, right? And see, the thing is,
great results personally,
right? And I'm going to give it a shot. So, like, it comes down to preference. I want if I'm not trimming it by hand, it needs to be perfect, because the reality is if I'm going to spend some money to purchase something that's going to do the job for me, it better do a better job than I can do, because then I'm going to just do it myself. That's how I define most contractors. Anyways, it's kind of, if it's not worth it, I don't think it's worth it if I've got to take that out and trim it again. That's another thing too. It's like, well, maybe they'll say this will get a lot of the stuff off, but then you got to go back and fine trim it. That's useless to me. That's double steps here. I just think if I'm going to trim it, I'm going to trim it. So yeah, we'll see. But if the reality is, or the conversation is, a slight sacrifice of trichomes / flower material for hours saved, so be it. That's the reality, because I know how to make concentrate. There is no waste when I harvest. Everything gets reused, including the fan leaves and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's going to fall into another sector of my operation, per se.
This clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.